Everyone was amazed to see that the child had the 7 colors of the rainbow playing in her eyes, hair, and skin. When she smiled, colorful light spread around her, breathing new life into flowers. As time passed, Ishita grew, and tales of her extraordinary beauty and powers spread far and wide. But one day, the kingdom's sky was overshadowed by daunting dark clouds. A malevolent witch named Dumrudara arrived with a storm, cursing the realm. Instantly, all colors faded away. Trees, rivers, flowers turned gray, and even the expressions on people's faces showed no emotions. A profound gloom descended over the kingdom. The king and queen tried everything but couldn't bring back the colors. An old sorcerer revealed that only Ishita's rainbow light could break the curse, but she had to find the source of the rainbow, an Alakbindu light drop. Bravely, Ishita embarked on a perilous quest accompanied by her beloved companion Niharika, a mystical fairy whose wings' touch could restore color to gray objects. They crossed the gray river, whose waters were stagnant, traversed the dark forest, where not a single bird sang. Finally, they reached the Cave of Dreams, where the reflection of the Alakbindu was hidden within mirrors. Ishita knew this Alakbindu would renew her rainbow's power. But suddenly, Dumrudara appeared inside the cave. She taunted, "Princess, no matter how bright your light, it will dim before my curse." Ishita was unafraid. She closed her eyes, calling forth the power of love, courage, and hope from deep within her heart. Suddenly, around her, a bright rainbow aura formed. Dumrudara hurled her dark magic, but Ishita's colorful light enveloped the darkness. The cave illuminated, and Alakbindu leaped straight into Ishita's hand. Back in the kingdom, Ishita looked at the sky and declared, "I will bring the light back." She cast the Alakbindu into the sky. Instantly, there was an explosion of color. Trees turned green, river waters became clear blue, flowers bloomed in vibrant hues. Lost smiles returned to people's faces. Dumrudara's curse was forever broken. The kingdom's children chased colorful butterflies, rivers bubbled merrily, and the air was filled with fresh fragrance. The king and queen embraced Ishita, saying, "You are our goddess of light." From that day, Ishita spread a new message to the world. Light, love, and courage are the greatest forces, unyielding to any curse. 1001 Arabian Nights is a legendary collection of stories that reflects the depth and traditions of ancient Arab, Persian, and Indian cultures. These stories revolve around King Shahryar and his intelligent wife, Scheherazade. Shahryar, a king, begins to feel hatred towards women due to his wife's betrayal. He decides to marry a new bride every night and have her executed the next morning. However, Scheherazade, a clever and courageous young woman, devises a novel way to free the king from his hatred. She starts narrating a new story to the king each day. Every story captures the king's interest and leaves off unfinished as the night ends. This intrigues the king, and he waits for each night, eventually saving Scheherazade's life. After 1001 nights, King Shahryar changes his mind and accepts Scheherazade as his partner. The stories are enlightening and filled with human values. They teach us about courage, wisdom, faith, love, forgiveness, and unity. Some of the renowned tales among these stories include Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. Poor woodcutter Ali Baba discovers treasure in a cave, but 40 thieves come after him to destroy him. Ali Baba outsmarts the thieves and begins a prosperous life. Sinbad the Sailor. Sinbad, a daring navigator, embarks on 7 perilous sea voyages. Each journey confronts him with new dangers and mysteries, but his courage and perseverance lead him to success. The 3 Lady Courtesans. A princess faces a wizard's curse and gains freedom with the help of 3 women. Aladdin and the Enchanted Lamp. Aladdin gains power through a magical lamp and transforms his life. Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal. Shah Jahan builds the Taj Mahal for his wife, symbolizing eternal love and sacrifice. 1001 Nights Whimsy. A young man survives various dangers through his intelligence and bravery. The Two Penalized Sisters. A story revolving around forgiveness and love between two sisters who help each other. Kahinsky and Indar, an ancient love story where the life of a princess and prince change with their mutual support. The Melodic Queen, a princess who tries to calm her soul, achieves virtue. The Boat of Destiny, a princess finds a magical boat and rediscovers her life. Each of these stories represents a unique fairy tale that teaches much about the deeper aspects of life, human relationships, strength, and faith. Amidst the rugged mountains once thrived a prosperous kingdom called Ameripur. The people of this kingdom lived in harmony, under the benevolent rule of a fair and kind king. However, one day, the kingdom's glory was shattered by an ominous force. A terrifying witch, known as Khalsap, brought division, chaos, and destruction upon the realm. Under her curse, all inhabitants and their history were forgotten. Centuries passed, and Ameripur gradually became a mere fairy tale. Years later, a keen young researcher named Olive became intrigued upon hearing stories of the lost kingdom. Guided by ancient manuscripts and legends, he embarked on a quest to unearth the remnants of Ameripur. One day, he stumbled upon an ancient, mysterious book in a cave amidst the mountains. The pages chronicled the history of Ameripur and its ruin. But the book revealed that the kingdom could still be restored, if the rightful heir could be found. Within the cave, Olive encountered a strange golden-hued bird. The bird's eyes glimmered with an unusual light, and it spoke with a clear voice, as if human. "I am Karat, the last keeper of Ameripur's memory. I know how to restore the kingdom, but you must find its last heir." Karat disclosed that the last prince of Ameripur, Belal, had disappeared. His existence was fading, yet he lived still. If found, and if the ancient strength of the kingdom could be awakened, Ameripur's glory would return. Olive and Karat embarked on a quest to find Belal. After a long journey, they found a solitary young man in a hillside cave. He was lonely, despondent, and devoid of knowledge of his past. But Karat declared, "You are the last heir of Ameripur. Without you, the kingdom cannot be reborn." Initially, Belal was incredulous. But Olive assured him, "If you truly wish to honor your ancestors, come with us. History is calling you." Convinced, Belal joined them. The trio advanced to the ruined center of Ameripur. There lay a mystical stone, the source of the kingdom's power. Karat informed, "Only the blood of the royal lineage can awaken this power." Belal cut his hand, letting a few drops of blood fall upon the stone. Instantly, the entire kingdom lit up. The ruins began to clear, and slowly, Ameripur started to reclaim its former glory. The curse of Khalsap was lifted. The lost memories returned, and people regained their identities. Ameripur's ancient grandeur was restored, with Belal seated upon his ancestors' throne. The kingdom basked in newfound light, and Olive became known as a great rescuer by history. He understood that true history never vanishes, merely buried under the dust of time. In a distant land, there was an extraordinary princess. Her skin was a radiant azure, hair like waterfalls, and eyes were blue gems. She was known as the Mayur Rajkumari. At her birth, the sky illuminated with rainbow lights, and peacocks danced around the palace. Astrologers predicted, "She will be unique in beauty and grandeur, but must find her truth." As she walked in the garden, peacocks followed her. Her song harmonized with nature's breeze. One day, she dreamt of a golden peacock calling her. Come to the peacock waterfall on the full moon night. She ventured alone to the waterfall and saw her reflection, a peahen. A golden peacock descended from the sky. You are the lost princess of the peacock realm, cursed to live among humans. Her heart was conflicted. Would she return? A blue light from the peacock's feather transported her to the peacock realm. She marveled at peacocks flying, clear blue streams, and enchanting beauty. There awaited her the magical throne of the peacock realm. You are our queen, an elder peacock declared. We've awaited your return for ages. Yet, memories of her human kingdom lingered. Could she leave her family and kingdom? After days in the peacock realm, she realized she belonged to both worlds. I must return to the human world, she told the golden peacock, for I love them. You are truly a queen, the golden peacock smiled. For thinking beyond yourself. Returning, she found her people rejoicing. They had thought her lost. From then, Mayur Rajkumari lived for both realms. She visited the peacock realm and returned to her human kingdom. Each garden walk followed by peacocks, in reverence and love. A true queen reigns with love, not just throne. Mayur Rajkumari became queen of both realms through her love. In a far kingdom stood a blue palace, home to Princess Arunika. She was clever, brave, and strategic. Her beauty was famous. But secretly, she had another identity. She was a spy. One day, news arrived about a cunning king, Varmint. He stole a magical gem from Kalarath fortress. The gem's power was immense, bringing prosperity where it stayed. King Varmint wanted to conquer other realms with its strength. Arunika realized her kingdom would be doomed without the gem. She disguised herself as a merchant's daughter. Arunika set out towards Kalarath fortress. Along the way, she met a mysterious man, Rudran. What are you doing here? Rudran inquired. I am a simple girl, heading to the kingdom. Rudran sensed she wasn't ordinary. She was a spy. Together, Arunika and Rudran sought a way into the fortress. Varmint guarded the fortress with his soldiers. Arunika infiltrated the fortress and attended a royal feast. There, she overheard Varmint's war plans using the gem. Arunika quickly informed Rudran. They secretly searched inside the fortress for the gem. Finally, they found the magical gem in a secret room. But right then, King Varmint caught them. You think you can take this gem from me? He tried trapping Arunika with his magic. Quickly, Arunika used her ring's light magic. In moments, light spread inside, dispelling Varmint's dark magic. Together, Rudran and Arunika defeated Varmint and returned with the gem. With the gem back, peace restored in the kingdom. The king and subjects rejoiced, unaware of Arunika's ingenuity and courage. In a distant kingdom, Princess Abhija was not just beautiful, but a skilled doctor. She was fondly called Dr. Princess by the people of the kingdom. One day, the kingdom fell ill with a mysterious disease affecting everyone. Symptoms included fever, weakness, and strange marks appearing on the body. Even the royal physicians couldn't determine the cause of this strange illness. The king announced, only Abhija can save us from this disease. Abhija delved into ancient books researching for a possible cure. She discovered a magical flower in a cursed jungle nearby could cure it. However, the jungle was forbidden. Those who entered were never found. Undeterred, Abhija took her magical scepter and embarked on the quest. Entering the jungle, darkness surrounded her with eerie sounds everywhere. Suddenly, a giant shadow figure stood before her, blocking her path. What are you seeking here? It questioned with a deep, mysterious voice. I'm here to save my people. Please allow me to pass, Abhija replied. The shadow figure smirked. Solve this riddle, if you're truly brave. The riddle was, what becomes shorter when given and longer when taken? In a kingdom lived a unique princess named Elira, crafted from porcelain. She walked and talked like humans but was easily breakable. The kingdom cherished her, knowing her fragility. Happiness reigned until a mysterious sorceress arrived. Draped in colorful feathers, her eyes cast a strange spell. Your happiness won't last, she warned, cursing the palace. The most prized possession is the porcelain princess. She must leave, or all will turn to stone. The kingdom panicked. Elira knew she had to go. She ventured into a forest, seeking the sorceress to lift the curse. Moonlight peeked through trees. Birds sang their melodies. Deep within, Elira found the sorceress in a cave. Why are you here? Asked the sorceress. I wish to save my kingdom. Please lift the curse. Your courage will liberate you, smiled the sorceress. Complete 3 tasks to prove your worth. Long ago, there was a magical kingdom named Rainbowland. The prince of this kingdom, Arnav, was not only handsome but also possessed an extraordinary power. Wherever he walked, a trail of rainbow light followed. One day, a terrible curse befell the kingdom. The 7 fairies of the Sky Kingdom appeared before the king and said, "We have been wronged. Our powers have been stolen, and we are imprisoned in a cave. If we are not freed, this kingdom will remain engulfed in darkness forever." The king, petrified, sought help from Prince Arnav. Taking up the responsibility to save the kingdom, Arnav embarked on a quest. After a long journey, he reached a mysterious mountain where the 7 fairies were imprisoned. However, to free them, Arnav had to pass 7 arduous tests. The test of wisdom, solving an ancient riddle. The test of courage, walking through a path of blazing fire. The test of kindness, healing and nurturing an injured bird. The test of strength, moving a colossal rock to clear the way. The test of faith, walking blindfolded through complete darkness. The test of sacrifice, surrendering a part of his magical power. The test of love, offering his life for the true liberation of the fairies. Arnav successfully overcame all the tests. Instantly, the 7 fairies were freed, and they returned to the kingdom, bringing back light, color, and joy. The most splendid rainbow appeared in the kingdom's sky. Grateful, the 7 fairies blessed Arnav and said, "You are not just a prince. You are our liberator. From today, you shall be known as the Rainbow Prince." Returning to the kingdom, Arnav informed the king of everything. The kingdom's people embraced him as a hero. From then on, Rainbowland remained filled with eternal happiness and light. Many years ago, deep within the 7 seas, there existed a miraculous kingdom, Oceania. There, the coral reefs shimmered like colorful gems, and the golden hues of pearls gave the water a radiant glow. The ruler of this kingdom was the great king of the seas, who had one beloved daughter, Princess Marina. Marina possessed unparalleled beauty. Her hair resembled pink coral, and her eyes were deep blue, where the mystery of the ocean seemed to reside. She was the queen of mermaids and a friend of the aquatic creatures. But one day, great danger came upon the Sea Kingdom. From the world of humans, poisonous fumes, dark oil, and metallic waste floated into Oceania. The coral realms began to perish, the fish fell ill, and the once crystal-clear water slowly turned black. Marina wept, but tears could change nothing. Gathering courage, she sought the blessing of the sea goddess Amphitrite and set out towards the human world. Upon arriving, Marina witnessed how oblivious the humans were to pollution. She arrived one day in front of a royal castle. There, Prince Eric of the kingdom was astonished to see her. "Who are you, fair maiden?" the young prince asked. Marina replied, "I am the princess of the sea. Your mistakes are devastating my realm. Please help us." Prince Eric pondered deeply at Marina's words. He summoned a royal assembly and declared, "Whosoever helps protect the sea shall be the greatest warrior of the realm." His decree raised awareness among all. The kingdom's people began to clean the sea. New regulations were established to prevent pollution. Eventually, the sea became clear once again. Marina happily told Prince Eric, "You have not only saved my kingdom, but have won my heart as well." Eric smiled softly and asked, "Then will you be my queen?" Marina agreed, and thus the bond between sea and land was forged for eternity. And so, the princess of the sea saved her kingdom and began a new chapter in the world of humans. Eternal reign of happiness. As the sun cast its golden light over a small village, it illuminated a marvelous orchard belonging to a clever bird named Tuni. Her garden was filled with trees bearing various fruits, luscious mangoes, juicy red apples, sweet grape clusters, golden yellow bananas, and dripping ripe berries. Tuni was not only wise but hardworking as well. Each day, alongside her younger siblings, she nurtured the garden, watering the trees, clearing away weeds, and carefully picking the ripe fruits. One day, two black crows named Kalu and Kali came flying near the garden. Seeing the assortment of delicious fruits made their mouths water. But they thought, why bother cultivating when we can just take them secretly? That very night, they flew into Tuni's garden. The sound of fruit falling filled the air as they gathered baskets full of fruits. But Tuni was smart and had suspected something was amiss, so she hid behind the trees. Suddenly, Tuni flew up and sternly said, "Kalu uncle, Kali aunt, these are the fruits of our labor. Have you come to steal them?" Kalu and Kali were initially taken aback, but then they laughed and said, "With such a large garden, what's the harm in giving us a little?" Tuni replied firmly, "This isn't simply a fruit garden. It's a result of our hard work, love, and care. If you truly want to eat, then work with us. Then we can all share together." Kalu and Kali paused for a while. They realized that stealing indeed was shameful. With heads lowered, they said, "We were wrong, Tuni. We want to help. Please tell us what to do." From that day on, they all took care of the garden together. Kalu and Kali watered the trees, Tuni's younger siblings cleared the weeds, and Tuni picked the fruits and arranged them neatly in baskets. At the end of the day, they enjoyed a cheerful celebration. As they indulged in the juicy fruits, they laughed, sang, and reveled in joy. Tuni's orchard indeed became a sweet tale of friendship and hard work. Those who toil earn the real taste of sweet fruits. And on the path of friendship and justice lies true happiness. In one corner of the kingdom lived Princess Elena, who possessed immense wealth. She was accustomed to living amidst luxury, surrounded by a palace made of gold, an array of diamonds and jewels, and numerous servants. On the other side of the kingdom was Princess Lilia, who had no palace or jewels, but a small cottage enveloped by an evergreen forest, the song of birds, and the refreshing open air. One day, a grand festival was organized in the kingdom, inviting all the princesses. Elena wore a regal outfit embellished with gold and a sparkling diamond necklace. In contrast, Lilia donned a simple green dress she made herself, as serene as nature itself. At the festival, everyone was mesmerized by Elena, barely noticing Lilia. Suddenly, an elderly destitute man approached, seeking help. Elena looked at him in surprise and said, "I am a princess. How can I help?" However, Lilia immediately offered her own food, water, and a pair of shoes to the old man. The man smiled and remarked, Your heart is your greatest treasure, princess. After the festival, as everyone returned to the palace, a royal messenger announced, "The true princess of today is she who helped others with the kindness of her heart." Upon hearing this, Elena was somewhat ashamed and realized that true wealth lies not in gold or silver, but in the generosity of one's heart. Long ago, in a small village lived a poor farmer named Ramesh. He had an only daughter, Kanika. Kanika was exceptionally beautiful, as if nature itself had painted her beauty on its canvas. But her heart held a deficiency pride. Kanika believed that only a prince or a wealthy businessman was worthy of her beauty. She looked down upon the ordinary boys of the village. She had no compassion for her parents' helpless situation. Instead, she often complained about her poor household. Ramesh was a sincere and hardworking farmer, laboring tirelessly throughout the day to sustain the household. But he could never make Kanika happy. Kanika only dreamed of riches and a luxurious life. One day, a wealthy businessman visited from a neighboring state. He was extremely wealthy, yet stingy and arrogant. He was captivated by Kanika's charm and proposed marriage to her. Kanika thought this was her chance to live a royal life. Ramesh warned his daughter, "Beta, happiness cannot be bought with wealth alone. The company of a good person gives true happiness." But Kanika dismissed her father's words. This was the wealthy suitor she had always awaited. The marriage took place. Kanika moved to the wealthy businessman's mansion. Initially, everything seemed regal, the glittering house, expensive clothes, servants. But gradually, the veil of reality began to lift. The wealthy businessman was extremely stingy. Kanika had to do household chores all day and was not given good food. Even a minor mistake would lead to severe punishment. Eventually, she realized that wealth does not bring happiness. Kanika understood that love, respect, and affection are the true sources of happiness. Finally, one day Kanika couldn't bear it any longer. With tear-filled eyes, she returned to her parents' home. Standing at the door, she said helplessly, "Father, Mother, I was wrong. I was blinded by pride. Your love was my greatest treasure." Ramesh and his wife embraced Kanika warmly. Tears of remorse were in Kanika's eyes. She understood that true happiness lies not in wealth, but in love and family. Pride blinds a person, but life itself teaches the true lesson. Happiness is not found in riches, but in love.
Once upon a time, in a distant realm, there lay a kingdom of exquisite beauty, Sonargore. There, King Chandravarma and Queen Sumitra's only daughter was born on a full moon night, her face radiant like the moon itself. The astrologers of the realm foretold that this princess would one day write the most glorious chapter for Sonargore. She was named Rupashri, but fate was cruel. When Rupashri was only 3, a traitor's conspiracy brought turmoil to the kingdom. As enemies attacked the royal palace, the king and queen, desperate to save her, entrusted her to their loyal maid, Mahamaya. Mahamaya fled to a distant village where the princess was known simply as Rupa. Rupa grew up as an ordinary girl, but her demeanor, speech, and behavior remained regal. She loved everyone in the village, especially her foster mother Mahamaya, unaware of the grand legacy flowing in her veins. One day, while traveling incognito across the kingdom, Prince Bikram came to the village. As he wandered through, he spotted Rupa. Her natural beauty, intelligence, and an inexplicable majesty captivated him. He felt that perhaps this ordinary girl was not so ordinary after all. Meanwhile, an intriguing event unfolded at the royal palace. An elderly maid, Mahalakshmi, who once served the king, suddenly appeared in the court declaring, "The princess is still alive. I know where she is." Hope flickered in the king's heart. Prince Bikram also returned to the palace to tell of Rupa. By the king's decree, Rupa was brought to the palace. However, skepticism remained. How to prove after all these years that Rupa was the lost princess? Mahamaya then stepped forward, retrieving a precious necklace once worn by the infant princess, adorned with the royal family's emblem, a golden locket. The king and queen recognized their daughter, and the realm erupted in joy. Rupa, or Rupashri, was no longer just an ordinary girl. She was the proud princess of Sonargor. Yet, she did not forget her foster mother. Arrangements were made for Mamaya to have a special place in the palace, and the princess stated, "A mother not only gives birth but also builds life with love." Thus, the lost princess reclaimed her rightful place, and the kingdom regained its golden future. In a distant kingdom lived a king and a queen who had everything except a child. The queen prayed day and night, "O Allah, grant me a child, or my heart will break." After many years, Allah answered her prayers. One day, the queen announced that she was expecting a child. The king, overwhelmed with joy, decorated the palace, and celebrations commenced. However, that joy did not last long. One day, an old woman came to the palace seeking work from the queen. In reality, she was a terrifying witch with eyes of dark fire and a mesmerizing smile. Unaware of her true identity, the queen entrusted her with the management of the palace. Daily, the witch began to lace the queen's food with magic. The queen's body began to weaken and her mind felt uneasy. When twin sons were born, they were declared dead just after birth due to the witch's deceit. The witch discarded them deep in the jungle. But they didn't die. In that jungle, a saint was meditating. He heard the babies crying, rushed to them, picked them up, and said, "Allah has saved them. They must be raised as humans." The saint named them Lakamal and Neelkamal. The brothers grew up running and playing in the forest with animals, becoming intelligent, brave, and inseparable allies. One day, they ventured far from the jungle into another forest, where an old woman told them, "Do you know where your parents are? You are princes. Your mother still cries in the palace, while the witch rules the kingdom disguised as the queen." Fury burned in the brothers' eyes. They decided to defeat the witch and free their mother. On their journey, they faced several obstacles: demons, a sorceress, an enchanted river, even a magical sword hanging from a tree. But Lakamal said, "Brother, do not fear." Neelkamal replied, "As long as you are with me, I can never lose." The brothers overcame all the dangers and reached the palace. With cleverness, they revealed the witch's true identity in the royal court. In a flash, the witch's mask fell away, revealing her dark form, shocking everyone. The queen rushed to embrace her sons. The king couldn't hold back his tears. The kingdom celebrated that day, with flowers, songs, lights, and joy filling the sky. Lakamal and Neelkamal, who were lost, returned as the pride of the kingdom. When love, truth, and courage come together, no magic or witch can stop them.
Many, many years ago, when the world had not yet hardened as it is today, the moon was a realm of dazzling moonlight. In that realm lived a fairy queen, Lenara, lovingly called Moon Granny by the children of Earth. She possessed a magical box, the fairy box, in which dreams, stories, lullabies, and colorful bubbles of imagination were stored. Every night, she and her fairies would carry this box to the homes of children on Earth. In the light of those dreams, they would fall asleep, spreading magical smiles across the planet. But time changed. Science emerged, and people's faith shifted away from fairy tales. A scientist invented a device that absorbed the light of moon tales. The fairies grew weak and vanished, and so did the fairy box. Since then, the Moon Granny sat alone in a corner of the moon, searching for her box every night. Her eyes held only one longing: someone, someday, would bring back that lost magic. Many years later, in a small village on Earth, a girl named Ilma was born. She was different. It loved stories, gazed at the sky, and at night lit candles to read fairy tales. While her friends played on phones, she would draw strange moons and stars on paper. One night, Ilma dreamed of a silver path that led her to the moon granny. Granny silently watched her, tears in her eyes. "Are you?" she whispered. Ilma handed her an old stone box. "I found this under our old banyan tree." When I opened it, an astonishing light emerged. Granny's eyes shone. It was the lost fairy box. Ilma's belief, love, and imagination had awakened the magic of the box once more. That very night, the moon lit up brightly again. The fairies returned, floating on silver feathers. Stories flew around children's windows once more. The moon granny was no longer alone. Ilma was her new companion, a little girl brimming with imagination, proving that fairy tales never die. They just wait for someone to guide them back into belief through the light of stories. In a picturesque kingdom called Swarnapur, there lived a girl named Rupa. Every dawn, she joyfully began her work in a small bakery kitchen. Wearing a white apron, her hair neatly tied, she worked her magic with both hands to create various breads and sweets. Children with innocent eyes watched from the bakery window, eagerly waiting for Rupa's creations. But Rupa's heart was not confined to the kitchen. When everyone else went to sleep, she ventured into the world of books. From cookbooks to history, literature to science, whatever book came her way, she read with great interest. In her world of imagination, she was a princess, dressed in beautiful robes, a crown on her head, yet holding a tray of bread and books. One day, a special announcement came from the royal palace. The king and queen are seeking someone extraordinary in culinary skills and profound knowledge. The winner will be crowned the kingdom's golden queen. Rupa did not hesitate. She presented her favorite recipe, golden bread, at the competition. Mixed with flour, honey, milk, and a generous dose of her love, her bread left the king and queen astounded. It was not merely food. It was a taste of dreams. The king, looking at Rupa, said, "You are not just a cook. In your eyes, we see wisdom, courage, and love. You can be the pride of our kingdom." Instantly, Rupa was adorned in royal garments and crowned the Golden Queen. But Rupa smiled gently and said, "I do not wish to be a princess just for ruling. I desire to win hearts with knowledge and love." From then on, Rupa became an esteemed advisor in the royal palace. By day, she cooked for the royal family. By night, she enlightened the girls of the kingdom with education. Her days flowed between the bakery, palace, and library. 3 lives live in one. In this manner, an extraordinary story was formed by the hands of an ordinary girl. Everyone said, "She doesn't just bake, she builds dreams. That's why she is the princess of Dreamland." In the distant realm of an enigmatic universe lay Jyotirban, a magical forest where every leaf shimmered with light. Mushrooms glowed in hues of blue, orange, and pink, and the fragrance of flowers floated like sweet melodies in the air. This forest symbolized life, color, and hope. At its heart lay a hidden luminance, the light flower, the source of the forest's vitality. But on one new moon night, a dark shadow fell upon it. From the depths of a distant desert emerged Caliborn, an apparition with fiery eyes and a body that was indistinct and shrouded in darkness. Caliborn despised the light because her own world was void and cloaked in shadows. She declared, "This forest's light shall be mine." There was no one to stop her then. Creatures fled, flowers withered, and trees wept silently. Despair descended all around. Amidst this, the story's heroine returned, Sashini, the guardian of Jyotirban. Her eyes shone like stars, her hair adorned with luminescent flowers, and in her hand was a magical sword named Arunalak. Her attire was etched with odes to light, and her body glowed with an ethereal radiance. Accompanying Sashini was a human, Arbin. Visiting the forest from the city, he was bewildered by the shadow's arrival. Yet Sashini looked at him and said, "Do not fear, Arbin. If you believe, you too can spread light." Their path was blocked by Caliborn. She roared, "This forest is now mine." At that moment, Sashini proclaimed, "You may have brought shadows, but I bring the light, and light always conquers darkness." A battle ensued. Light clashed with darkness, courage met fear, hope stood against despair. Jayatir's sword and the black flames struck against each other in a relentless struggle. The vicinity resonated with the dance of light and shadow. At that very moment, Arbin discovered the hidden light flower at the forest's core. He touched it to Sashini's sword. Instantly, the sword blazed with even greater brilliance, as if stars had descended to inhabit it. In that light, Caliborn was reduced to ashes. Laughter, color, song, and life returned to the forest. Sashini smiled gently and said, "To protect this world, we must keep the light of our hearts glowing." Arbin replied, "I will always stand by you, cherishing the light." And thus, the guardian of light and Arbin restored Jyotirban to its lost splendor.